Thinking about starting a business in the UK? If you're looking to form a limited company, you've come to the right place. Starting your own business is an exciting adventure, but it can also be a bit overwhelming. If you're considering forming a limited company in the UK, you are on the right track toward building a solid foundation for your business. But where do you begin? Don't worry, I'm here to walk you through the steps of the process, making starting as straightforward as possible. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of what it takes to create an Ltd company in the UK. By the end of this video, you will have a lot more clear understanding of what it takes to create a Ltd company in the UK. But if you want to make the process even smoother, save yourself some stress, and ensure everything is done right for the first time, I highly recommend checking out First Formations. They are the UK's leading company formation agent, trusted by over 1 million businesses since 2014. They can get your company registered in as little as 24 hours, and they offer essential services like business address options and compliance support. These guys are the real deal when it comes to UK company registrations, so you can rest easy knowing your business is in good hands. You'll find the link to their website down in the description of this video. This is an affiliate link, which means that if you use it, I will earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. This helps me to support my channel. Thank you. And now let's dive in. Step 1. Is a limited company right for you? Before we jump into the details of setting up a limited company, let's take a moment to consider the best structure for your business. This decision is not one to take lightly, as it will shape how you operate, how you pay taxes, and even how you attract funding. A limited company is legally separate from the people who run it, which means it has its own finances that are distinct from your personal finances. Sounds good, right? But wait, there's more. A limited company has shares and shareholders, which means you can bring on investors if you need to, and any profits your company makes can be retained after paying taxes. This structure is typically ideal for businesses aiming to make a profit, offering a clear separation between personal and business assets. Now, you might be wondering, is this really for me? If you're still unsure, there are government-backed schemes designed to help you figure out which company structure is right for you. And hey, it's perfectly okay to seek advice if you're on the fence. But if you already decided that a limited company is the way to go, that's fantastic. You're setting yourself up for the success. Ready to take the next step? Let's move forward and start building your company. Step number 2, picking the perfect name. So, you decided to go ahead with forming a Ltd company. That's an exciting times. One of the most fun yet important steps is choosing a name for your company, but it's not as simple as just picking something catchy. There are some rules you'll need to follow. First things first, your company name must usually end in either limited or Ltd. Next, you need to ensure that your chosen name is not too offensive or similar to existing company names. You can imagine the hassle of being told you need to change your name after you've already started using it. That's not fun. And to avoid this, use the company name availability checker. I have a link for that in the description of this video. And if you're thinking, what if I want to trade under a different name? Don't worry, you can do that too. This is known as a business name, and it can be different from your registered company name. Just keep in mind that Companies House will reach out to you if they think your name is too similar to another, and then they will guide you what to do next. Ready to find the perfect name? Go ahead, get creative, and make sure the name captures the essence of your business. Step 3. Choosing directors and a company secretary. Alright, You've got your name sorted. What's the next step? Now it's time to think about who's going to run your company. Every Ltd company must have at least one director, and this person will be legally responsible for everything from the company's records to its overall performance. If you're thinking that sounds like a lot of responsibility, you're absolutely right. But don't worry, it's manageable as long as you understand your duties. As a director, you need to follow the rules set out in the company's Articles of Association. These are essentially the company's rulebook, so it's important to familiarize yourself with them. You'll also be in charge of keeping accurate records and reporting any changes to company's house. And don't forget, you'll need to file the company's accounts and tax returns too. Yeah, it is a lot to keep track of, but think of it as a part of the adventure of running your business. And here's another pro tip. If you're not confident handling everything on your own, you can appoint a company secretary. It's not obligatory, but you can do it. By doing this, you can lighten the load. This person can help you with administrative tasks, so you can focus on growing your business. Not sure if you need one? It's okay to consult with a professional advisor or your trade association to get some guidance. Feeling ready to take on the role of director? Let's move forward. Step 4. Deciding on shareholders or guarantors. Now that you've sorted out who's running the company, it's time to think about ownership. Most Ltd companies are limited by shares, which means they're owned by shareholders. So, who's going to own your company? If you are the only shareholder, then congratulations, you own 100% of the company. But what if you want to bring others aboard too? The good news is, there's no maximum number of shareholders, so you can have as many as you like. The price of an individual share can be any value you choose, and shareholders will be responsible for paying for their shares in full if the company ever shuts down. This is where things get interesting. You can set a low share value, like £1, to limit the liability of your shareholders to a reasonable amount. It's a clever way to protect everyone involved. And here's something else to consider. If you own shares in a company, you might get a dividend payment. Who doesn't love an extra income? But remember, dividends are usually subject to tax, so it's worth checking out the tax implications on HM Revenue and Customs website. Sounds like a lot to think about? It is, but it's all part of setting up a company that's built to last. Ready to decide who's going to own what? Let's get into it. Step 5. Identifying people with significant control. Next up is something a bit more technical but crucial. Identifying people with significant control, or PSC. You might be thinking, what's a PSC and why does it matter? That's a good question. A PSC is someone who has a lot of influence over your company. Typically, it means someone who owns more than 25% of the shares or voting rights. If someone has the power to appoint or remove the majority of the board of directors, they are a PSC too. Why is this important? Well, transparency is key in the business world, and knowing who holds significant control over your company is part of this transparency. This step is especially important if you're planning to have multiple shareholders or if your company structure is a bit more complex. If you're scratching your head thinking this sounds confusing, don't worry, you're not alone. The full PSC guidance is available if you want to dive deeper, and I also highly recommend seeking professional advice if you're dealing with a complex situation. It's better to get things right from the start than to deal with complications later on. Feeling more informed? Let's move on to the next step essential in setting up your Ltd company. Step 6. Preparing the essential documents for running the company. You're making great progress. Now let's talk about the paperwork. Yeah, the paperwork. It's not the most exciting part, but it's absolutely necessary. To legally run a Ltd company, you need to prepare two key documents: the Memorandum of Association and the Articles of Association. What are these? The Memorandum of Association is a legal statement signed by all initial shareholders or guarantors agreeing to form the company. If you're registering your company online, which I highly recommend for the convenience of it, this document is created automatically, so you don't have to worry about drafting it yourself. That's easy, right? The Articles of Association, however, are a bit more involved. These are the written rules about how your company will operate, agreed upon by the shareholders, directors, and company secretary. Think of it as the rulebook for your business. It covers everything from decision-making processes to shareholder rights. You can use a standard template, but if your business has unique needs, you might want to customize it. Just remember, once these documents are in place, they form a legal backbone of your company, so it's important to get them right. Not sure where to start? Don't hesitate to get legal advice to make sure your documents are solid. Are you ready to tackle the paperwork? Let's keep on going. Step 7. Keeping your company's records in order. With your company now set up, let's talk about something that will keep your business running smoothly: record keeping. It might not be the most glamorous part of running a business, but it's absolutely crucial. So, what records do you need to keep? First, you need to maintain accurate records about the company itself. This includes details about directors, shareholders, and any company secretaries. You'll also need to keep track of any shareholder votes and resolutions. These are important decisions that affect how your company is run. But that's not all. If your company has taken out loans or made promises to repay them, you'll need to keep records of those too. And don't forget about transactions where someone buys shares in your company or any loans or mortgages secured against the company's assets. Are you feeling a bit overwhelmed? That's okay. This is a lot to manage, but keeping your records in order will save you headaches down the road. You are also required to maintain a register of people with significant control, which we talked about earlier. And here's another pro tip. Consider hiring a professional accountant to help you with your tax obligations. HMRC may check your records to make sure you're paying the right amount of tax, so it's worth having an expert on your side. And remember, you must keep records for at least 6 years from the end of the last company financial year they relate to. In some special cases, you might need to keep them even longer, so it's worth checking the government website for details. Ready to keep things organized? Let's move on to the final step. Step number 8, registering your company. You are almost there. The last major step in setting up your Ltd company is registering with Companies House. This is the official body that handles company registrations in the UK. You'll need to provide a few key details, starting with a registered office address. This is where all official correspondence will be sent, so it's important to note that this address will be publicly available. Next, you need to provide a standard industrial classification code. This code describes the nature of your business, and there are different codes depending on what your company does. It might sound technical, but it's an essential part of the registration process. When you register your company, you can usually register for corporation tax at the same time. This is a great way to streamline the process, but if you, for some reason, can't do it simultaneously, make sure to register separately with HMRC as soon as possible. Once you've completed the registration, you'll receive a certificate of incorporation. This document is proof that your company legally exists, and it will include your company number and the date of formation. How exciting is that? Now you are a proud owner of a Ltd company in the UK. But remember, this is just the beginning of your journey. There's still plenty of work to be done. But with your company now officially registered, you are off to a great start. And there you have it, the steps to creating a Ltd company in the UK. By now, you should have a solid understanding of the process, from deciding whether a Ltd company is right for you to registering it with Companies House. I know it might seem like a lot to take in, but each step is crucial to ensuring your business is set up for success. And remember, if you want to make the setup process even easier, consider using First Formations. They are the experts in UK company registration and can have your business up and running in just 24 hours, leaving you free to focus on what you do best. I really hope this video was helpful, and I wish you all the best with your business journey. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.